has reduced the interest rate by 0.25%. It may not be a big number wise, but it's a big change. It changes the path of the borrowing.
Canada stopped bit of immigration.
I think Canada still has a shortage of homes. If immigration is slowing down, it doesn't mean they can stop. Newcomers, the students, yes, it's going to be a challenge for them, but there's still a lot of jobs out there. They can still work.
If once you're a student, you're building a life. I won't even call it a struggle, right? It's life. You have to go through that. You have to do your bit. You have to study, you have to work hard. So that is life. A lot of people look at it as challenge, as struggle, but it's not that. If you're not focused, if you don't have the right reasons to be in the industry, you will not find success. Selling a house, it takes like 8 to 10 hours. If you are working with a buyer, it takes like 40 to 50 hours.
If you buy a property, it's better. As long as you can afford it, as long as you know that you're settled in that area. By far, you have to purchase a property because every day passes, you're paying someone else's mortgage. Why not pay for yourself?
Hello, Fred. Hello, Sandy. Welcome to the Mug Talks.
Hi, Nathan. Thank you for having us. We had heard a lot about your show, and we're so excited to be here today.
Thank you for accepting my invitation to join us at the Mug Talks. We welcome you.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Nathan.
Thank you.
So, how has life been being for so long in Canada?
It's actually great. It's good to be here. I have personally traveled a lot of countries around the world, and I think Canada is my favorite still, and we're very happy to live here for sure.
How has it been for you, Sandy?
It's been a great journey for me. I've been here for more than 6 years now, and Canada is a great country, like Fred said, to settle. And whatever we expected out of Canada, we got that. So it's been a great journey.
Again, it depends on everyone's personal experiences, personal journeys. I recently saw the news, being into real estate market, both of you will understand how much people were waiting for the rate cut to happen. I recently saw the news that today there was an interest rate cut.
Actually, yes. Today was a big day for homeowners, for borrowers, and Canada has reduced the interest rate by 0.25%. It may not be a big number wise, but it's a big change. It changes the path of the borrowing. So we hope it keeps going and more cuts on the way. But definitely a good news, a very exciting day for homeowners.
Yeah.
It's like change the direction, basically.
Yes.
At least we are on a good path, right?
Yeah.
It started today, so let's hope that this path continues and we hear more positive news in the future.
There have been a lot of immigrants coming in Canada, and recently Canada stopped bit of immigration, I'd say. And I had many friends who were talking about buying real estate, and they got confused that now people will be coming less, so the demand will be less.
I think Canada still has a shortage of homes, according to Canada Stats Canada.
Yeah.
And Canada, they need about, I believe, last time I heard 1.5 million home shortage in 10 years, and then some were talking about over that number. So there's definitely shortage of homes in Canada. Keep in mind, if immigration is slowing down, it doesn't mean they can stop, maybe for a little short time. However, in the next year again, probably 500,000 new immigrants will come to Canada. That's something for sure.
That's a big
because
number.
keep in mind, Canada is based on immigration. The majority of population growth is immigration. So definitely people who come, most of the time, they do come with money as well.
Yeah.
So they have funds, they have money, and they want to settle here. So I think real estate is a good market for them for sure.
I'd say not all, but many come here as student as well. So when you enter the country at age of 18 to 20 as a new immigrant and as a student, your life is not that easy as a working
Yeah.
professional. So because you're not earning on the first day you came,
Yes.
you have this study pattern first of all.
Mm-hmm.
You cover that for 2 3 years, and then you start into your field. That also from your base salary, it goes down to $30,000, $40,000 a year,
Yeah.
and then you pump it up to 70,
Exactly.
80, and then you go
Exactly.
ahead.
I think what I heard last time, they increased the tuition fee. If I'm correct,
Yep.
don't take me, but I think Canada decided to change the rules in terms of students. They want to make sure they have enough money. I'm not sure if they raised their qualification of income.
Oh,
There's something they did in order to
like the
make
deposit, I think,
make
which
sure
they
To
need
when
make
to
they
sure that
do.
come
they
in,
have a
when
comfortable
Enough
they
living.
come
funds,
in,
yes.
they bring enough money to live. So in terms of newcomers, the students, yes, it's going to be challenge for them, but there's still a lot of jobs out there. They can still work.
And it's a challenge anywhere. See, if once you're a student, you're building a life. I won't call it a challenge. It's life. It's not even, I won't even call it a struggle, right? It's life. You have to go through that. You have to do your bit. You have to study, you have to work hard. So that is life. A lot of people look at it as challenge, as struggle, but it's not that. You're just working toward your future. You're working to make a living. You're working toward your to increase your income, to have a better career. So it's something that we all do and we all have to do, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
But there has been recent argument. These debates usually go on
Yeah.
in homes that when 3 or 4 students are living at a place, they usually say this thing that better to buy a property together, even 4 people together,
Yeah.
than to rent 4 people. But at same time, another argument comes up. They say it gives you a debt on you and it pressurizes you. So
I don't think we can talk about students in terms of investment or buying a property, but if we'll talk about newcomers, uh, then they need to live somewhere. And as soon as I think if they can afford it, if they can get the mortgage, if they're qualifying for mortgage, I think the sooner they buy a property, I think that would be a wise thing to do. But in terms of students, I think it's good to share the room or share the property. If they can afford, then they could buy, but again, are they going to stay here or no? That's one question. They might finish the studies and go back.
Yeah, go back.
So
Or move to a different city.
or move a different city, or
but when they end their studies and they plan to settle in the country, then renting is an option or buying is an option.
I personally believe if you live in a country, I think if you can afford it, if you're able to manage to pay the mortgage, I think the best thing is to buy a property, because either way you have to live somewhere, you have to pay, whether you pay rent or you pay mortgage. If you're paying rent, basically you're paying someone else's mortgage, but at the end of the day you got to pay.
But
So
in someone else's mortgage, you don't have a debt on you. First thing. Second thing, in someone else's mortgage, you can change the home anytime. If I want to move to Vancouver, I can easily do that. But with my mortgage, I cannot do that.
that's true. That's why before you purchase it, you have to make sure. You have to make sure that you're settled in such area, in a city or a town. Your job is stable, your income is stable. Then you can afford. That's the word of afford comes in, to make sure you're able to live in that property for, let's say, 5 years or 4 years. Then you can buy. Other than that, of course, rental is temporary. So if you're temporary in an area or a location, I think rent is good. But if you know that you're going to live there for 5 6 years, you have a job and you have steady income, then I think if you purchase, it's better.
Again, it's everybody's personal story, everybody's
Exactly.
personal life, right? If you have a temporary settlement, if you're looking for a temporary settlement, then yeah, go for a rental house. So if you want to call a place your home, then you have to have a home, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Talking about, as you told, that if you are settled in a country, if you're planning to settle in a country, then it's good to buy a home. Okay? Now, let's take average scenario where both of husband and wife, they make together, let's say $6,000 to $7,000. Okay,
Yeah.
very less range. Let's say they
They're
just
like an
started.
average
Average,
salary.
They just
Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Okay, and together they make 6 to 7,000. Now you can take, one is making 6,000, other one is not working, or they are both making 4 and 3, or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
that range is, and they are paying like $2,000 to $2,500 as their rent,
Okay.
then $2,000 to $2,500 as their other expenses, and other $1,000 to $2,000 they are saving. Now, what is the suggestion to them?
You're asking if she should buy or they should rent, right?
Yeah, they are currently, let's say, renting,
Okay.
and they don't have a tension at their head.
Yes. Now, if they're planning to stay in that area wherever they are for a long term, that their job is settled and they don't have to move, I think the best scenario for them is to buy because first of all they're building a new life. They just got married, as I heard, like scenario that they're married and they're the beginning of their life. So the sooner they start their saving in terms of real estate, I think the better it is. Now, for example, if they're renting $2,500 for the same $2,500, they can because they could probably buy a property, and because they're only two people, and they can buy a property for 500,000 or 600,000, a condo or a small town home, and probably by the time if they pay 5% down and they buy a property under 500,000, then their mortgage would probably be around the same price. And let's say 5 years from now, that property will definitely go up by value. Let's say 20% go up. So they're making already 100,000. And also the money that they pay for mortgage, let's say 200, 2,500 a month, that 2,500, at least 1,000 goes to their principal.
Yeah.
So their main principal will be reduced by another 50,000, something around, I would say 50,000. And they're making 150,000 in about 3, 4, 5 years. So definitely it would be a good scenario if they buy a property rather than rent, because rent they always pay someone else's mortgage. They're not paying their own mortgage, they're paying someone else.
And sorry, but it might sound weird, but you as a realtor would of course suggest to buy the property. Now, as an individual, what do you think?
I definitely think if you buy a property, it's better as long as you can afford it, as long as you know that you're settled in that area. By far, you have to purchase a property because every day passes, you're paying someone else's mortgage. Why not pay for yourself? Why not keep that money, even that $2,000, $3,000? At least some money is coming back to you. Forget about increase in value. At least you get some money back.
See, I think home ownership is a decision that you have to make, and you have to have the right reason for that decision, right? A lot of time people buy home because they see everybody around them buying home.
The
So
peer pressure around
peer
them.
pressure or FOMO, right? So they get something that is out of their reach to show off, to just to have that tag that I am a homeowner as well. Those are not the correct
But
reasons to
again,
buy a home.
I'll just tell you one small kind of an example.
Yeah,
That let's say one person is buying a property. Let's say I'm buying a property,
yeah,
and it is $800,000. Okay, and while buying, I saw something is much better than,
yeah,
at a price of like 850,000 or 900,000,
yeah,
and it is like much better, one more room,
yeah.
or it is like extra garage there. I'll prefer that one, even if it's out of my reach a little bit. I'll prefer that one.
But that's when you have to make a decision, right? Something that is better might not be right for you. right? Something might look lucrative, like you said, an extra garage, an extra room, but do you need that? So you have to make that decision. You have to make a financially sound decision for yourself. Do I need that extra garage? Should I pay 50,000 more for that garage or room?
Again, like a person, if he's buying home today,
Yeah,
he's buying home for next 20, 30 years.
of course, of course.
He's not buying home to, it's not stocks.
It's not
It's not
for
like stocks
short
that
term,
you
yes.
just buy today morning, sell
Yeah.
tomorrow morning.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah,
not like that.
yeah.
So they think long term,
Yeah.
that tomorrow we gonna have kids,
Yeah.
family gonna
Yeah, of
be
course,
there,
of course.
and if my wife is working, right? If we both are working as husband wife, we both need cars.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think, as Sandy indicated, is it depends on the individual. If they can afford it,
Yeah.
I think get the best. Get the best that you think it's the best for your future, and also in terms of
It tunes with the
value.
finances.
It teams-
Yeah,
yes.
it teams up with finance, and if they can afford it, it's the best. Otherwise, if there is something that you don't need and also you cannot afford it, you're just buying it because there's two-car garage, but you really don't need it,
Yeah.
then this is something you really have to rethink, because home is always somewhere you want to be safe, and also you want to be peace, not somewhere you should be worried about paying mortgage.
Yeah.
So because when you go sleep, you want to make sure you sleep well. You don't want to be you don't want to be thinking about, oh, tomorrow my mortgage is coming up. I don't have money in the bank. Is it going to bounce? So that's why the word home, I always call it home, not house. Home,
Yeah.
comfort. So
You know, this quote is there that if your home is your primary asset, your biggest asset, then you are one step away from poverty. Something like that, they say.
definitely.
And it's similar to, like, don't put all your eggs in the same basket, right? You have to have a diverse portfolio in terms of investment. So yeah, it's true.
You need to have multiple.
You have to have multiple investment. You can't just rely on just your home. It is
Basically
like
taking-
Fred said, it is somewhere where you can live. When you go to sleep, you get peaceful sleep. It is
Yes.
not. Don't look at it as only investment. It is a place to live and be happy.
Buy something for yourself. Don't
Yeah.
buy it for other people. I
Yeah.
say people think, oh, that's a big house, that's a beautiful house. Don't buy it for that reason. Buy it for what's good
Yeah.
for you, what's comfortable for you, financially, and of course, need wise.
That's a beautiful suggestion.
No problem.
Okay, so okay, I'm much interested.
Sure.
So when did you start your personal journey in real estate?
In real estate, I started 2010. So it's about 14 years, almost 15 years now. Yeah, early 2010.
Long time.
Yeah. I've been in this country for more than 30 years. So when we came here, we started from scratch. We started from very basic job, starting, I would say, from putting out flyers at the doors, the pizza delivery, and name it, all kind of jobs we did. And then I got married in 2000 to my wife Samira, and ever since we run our own business. We started with a jewelry business, and then we got into evening gowns and wedding gowns. And then in 2010, I got into real estate. I was working for a company as a sales rep. And in 2017, I got my broker license, and we opened a brokerage, a fully independent brokerage. It was called Trade One Realty, located on Dufferin Street, North York, Finch and Dufferin. And we had 75 agents in our office. And last year we decided to go different route. Instead of independent, we wanted to be recognized by a brand. So we chose the biggest brand in Canada, and not in Canada but around the world, Remax. And we got a franchise of Remax, and now we're called Remax One Realty. We're still in the same office, North York, on Finch, on Dufferin and Finch. And We go under Remax One Realty.
So Remax One Realty is your name.
It's our office name, yes. Yes, it's our brand. Yes. So we are very excited. We have a lot of new agents coming in the office. First of all, by just joining Remax, because being an independent is different than being with a brand, and it has a big image in front of your client, and we are very happy to be part of Remax for sure.
Started from distributing flyers, scratch, zero, and up to, I think, few millions. How was the journey like?
We wanted few million for sure.
How was the journey like?
It's I think it takes effort, decision. First of all, you have to make decision. You have to have the commitment, and you have to work hard. And there's always in life that you fall, and it's the person wins who get up. Because if you fall and you say this is it, then of course you lose everything. But if you get up and stand, yes, you fall and you stand back again. You fall and you stand back again. I think you will be standing.
So just for success, one thing matters, according to you, that is consistency.
Exactly. Exactly. Never give up.
Persistence.
Yeah, doesn't matter what comes in your way. If you have committed that I'm going to do this, do it.
And do you any day regret coming into real estate business?
Sometimes I regret if I wish I started earlier.
Oh,
I started earlier, maybe when I was 20 years old, 25 years old. If I had started, probably would have been better.
the reason of asking this question was we have a lot of realtors who are not not like renewing their license, they are just leaving the space recently. And I was like, why are they, is the fascination of this field going away? What is the reason?
Sandy probably know more because he's talking to a lot of new realtors and old realtors. But before he says, I'd say one word: because they're not with the right brand. They're independently, or they're with a brand that they don't get the support, they don't get the training, and they don't know how to create more business. So probably Sandy will talk
I think
more
I think
about it.
the main reason is, like he said, they are not serious in the field. So if you're not focused, if you don't have the right reasons to be in the industry, you will not find success. And then when you're not successful, eventually you will leave, right? So the people who left were not serious. They were part-timers. Some of them were not focused, as focused as they should have been. It is still the most it is still the biggest industry in Canada and North America in general. Real estate is a very lucrative career. It has always been. So it is a field where you have to put some effort, right? If you are with a place where you get support, if you are with a big brand, if you are with the right team, and you yourself are committed and focused, you will get success. But if any of these things are missing, then you will feel frustrated and then you will leave, right? And that's what happened, I think, last year. I don't have the exact number, but a lot of people did not renew their license, left the field, and maybe it was not the right field for them. But having said that, real estate is still the biggest industry in Canada. It is still a lucrative career for people out there, and people are still pursuing real estate license. There are a lot of people doing in their courses, looking to become a realtor and looking to become a successful realtor, right?
And also, as I learned about you, you have a doctor background, right? Now, being a doctor, you have to spend so much time and money and studied so much, right, in order to make a six-figure income, right? Now, in real estate, if we look at the courses, if we look at the cost of getting a license, it could be maximum $20,000 max, and it could be in the stretch of maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
You can get your license. Now, if your money and your time that you spend on studies, you got a license. But in real estate, you get the license very easy. But you have to spend some money on yourself, on your advertising, on your brand, on your daily promoting yourself. So that's your expense there, that you need to spend some money on yourself. You need to build your brand, because just by getting your license, yes, your family, your close friends might do business with you, but not everyone else, not the public, not somebody that you don't know. So in order to get those clients, you need to spend money on yourself. You need to do the right brand. You need to present yourself in the community. You have to be involved in the community. You have to talk to people, and it takes time for sure. You have to put your time, and also in situation you need to invest some money.
Okay, so a point blank question for you. If someone is looking to become a realtor in Canada, what is the figure we are looking at? What is the amount we are going to spend?
I believe, don't quote me on it, but I believe in total probably around $20,000 to get the license with the RICO and because I think there's 6 courses. Each course is about $1,000 or $1,200, and then you got your RICO fees and your trap fees, your brokerage fees. So maybe less than 20,000, but between 15 to 20,000. But I don't have the exact figure with me at the moment. But
Okay.
because it's been a
But
long
that's
time,
that's
I
like a rough
haven't.
that's like a rough estimate.
Yeah,
But
rough
Yeah.
like Fred said, a lot of people only spend that 20,000, 15,000, and they think that they will be a successful realtor. It
Yeah.
is not the case.
It's not.
It's just the beginning. You got your license, but you still have to work on yourself. You still have to build your build your career. You have to get some knowledge of the field. You have to improve your skills. So there is a lot of other factors as well, which people tend to miss, and that's the reason they are not as successful as the other realtors.
There's a lot of coach programs.
Yeah.
They need to get involved in those. Maybe get a join one of these big coaches in North America. There's a lot of them out there. There's some programs. Go to their office and spend time learning about business, learning about how to create leads, how to get those leads into appointments. It takes time, it takes effort, but they need to spend time. That's the most
Yeah.
important part.
So you can, see if to answer or not this question. You can pass it on. But just for the audience, on a $1 million investment of your client, what does a realtor make in hand?
If a property is sold by a realtor who's on the selling side or a buyer agent, they all normally get offered between 2 to 2.5% commission. Now, from that, depend how much their office cost is, and also some realtors have some extra cost that they put it into that transaction. So it could be anywhere between 2 to 2.5%, but they have to pay their office fee out of that.
So again, that means from a $1 million sale, you get $25,000.
Yes.
Yes.
But
yes.
then you have a lot of
Then
expenses.
you have
right?
your expenses.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
That's your income.
Intake.
But
That's
then you
your
have
income,
to,
yeah.
like any other business, you have the revenue, but then you have to
And
pay.
what if we include remove everything? What's the net income approximate?
I would say 40% of that.
So we are looking
You have
at
to-
8,000 something, 10,000.
Keep in mind, you have to pay tax on that, first of
Yeah.
all.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
That you got to pay tax. Maybe not right when you get your check, but at the end of the year you have to pay tax. And then you also have to pay your car expenses, your gas expenses, the time that you spend on that particular transaction, how many times you went for showing, how much time you spend on it. Like, it's all involved.
It's all involved. But at the end of the day, 40% is what you take.
So there are
Yeah.
two options with people. First, they are doing a job that makes them $40,000, $50,000 in hand, or they are going in the real estate field, in which if they sell 4 to 5 properties a year, they make the same amount.
They make the same amount.
And how easy is it to sell 4 to 5 properties?
So I'll I'll give you a rough estimate. On average, selling a house, like if you're working on the selling side, it takes like 8 to 10 hours. If you are working with a buyer, it takes like 40 to 50 hours. That's like an average
And
number.
how are we calculating these hours?
That is what you're putting in.
Okay.
So if I am a realtor, I'm working with a buyer. On average, I will spend 50 hours
For them to show the
to
properties,
show the property,
finalize
do the
it,
paperwork,
everything.
everything. If I'm working with a seller, on average 8 to 10 hours. Again, there are a lot of other factors involved, like you have to also generate the leads. A lot of time would go into that. But purely on the transaction size, these are the number of hours you'll spend.
A person who is buying the property is basically trusting you and putting the money in you, because for him your suggestion is the best suggestion he can get, and that's why he is putting his 30 years of income into you, 20 to 30 years of his mortgage that he's going to be debt into. He's trusting you on that.
Yeah.
And $1 million on him, on your suggestion, does it feel a little burdened emotionally? And people usually must have been with negative experiences as well.
Yeah.
That you put me into this situation.
I think, as you said, that the person is choosing an agent. First of all, they have to choose the right agent that they trust. They have
How
to
to
make
choose
sure
the right agent?
they need to first of all get to know the agent. First of all, what he has done, what kind of a trade record he has, how much experience he has, and again, how honest he is. I mean, nowadays people can figure out who's a honest person, who's not, because it's everybody is now very familiar with the attitudes and the behavior of people, so they can easily figure out whether they're honest or no. Now, once they choose the agent, and it's agent's responsibility, because they have to make sure they, first of all, they get the knowledge of the area where they buy, what they want to know what your clients want, first of all. And it's your job to make sure that you find them the right property, do the proper due diligence to make sure it's the right property, make sure it is something that your clients are comfortable to buy it, first of all, and in a long term, it's a good property, a good investment for them. So it's definitely up to the agent to make sure they get the right property.
Because if by mistake a property is given that the agent knows won't be good in the future, then you are basically playing with someone's life.
Sure.
It's same as medical field, I would say.
It is same like, it is same like any field.
Any
Yeah.
field.
Any field. See,
You could
It really
destroy the
depends,
person.
Yeah,
on
of
the
course.
honesty of the agent.
You could destroy that person's like 10 to 15 years.
Of course. See, in GTA alone, there are 80,000 realtors. And if you have a community that big, not everybody is good, right? So there are people who mislead their clients, there are people who cheat their client, and that is what, as an end user, as a home buyer or seller, you have to be sure that you're working with a person who is working for your best interest.
But also keep in mind, all real estate agents, they are licensed, they are governed by RICO.
Yeah.
And
What is RICO?
RICO is the Real Estate Council of Ontario. That governs the all real estate industry in Ontario. And if there's an issue that, if let's say, for example, a house that someone has issue that they really a legal matter, then they can definitely take it to RICO, and they can resolve that matter through RICO. So they could complain about that agent, and there's a possibility the agent can lose their license. So I don't think a lot of agents will do anything funny like that would put their clients at
Into
jeopardy,
situation,
into situation like that. But they're still governing There's a government.
Okay,
There's
let's,
rules and regulations. There's a lot of. We are all insured,
Yeah.
and we have insurance through every transaction we have. So, I think it's an area that a lot of people think it's difficult, but it's not. People think realtor can cheat them, but I don't think they would be able to do something so crazy.
Get away with it.
And get away with
Get
it, yeah.
away with it. Yeah.
Talking about all these topics, now let's move a bit ahead. So a person bought a property through a realtor. His first property, it appreciated by, let's say, 20%, 40%, 50% among few years, by few years. So recently I saw this story of someone in Brampton. So this guy says in the story that I bought this property of don't know how much. I 200,000 something, 300,000. I sold it for 1.2 million.
Okay.
Okay, like 15 years or something like
Yeah.
that.
Made $1 million profit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had to pay 60% to the government. Now
That
That is a
capital gain tax you're talking
No.
about. Right?
exactly.
Yes.
And that is again a whole new situation. That why to make $1 million if you're gonna give anyway 600,000?
Yeah. I think if it's an investment property, if it's your second property, then yeah, the new rule is I think 67%. I believe it's 67. It's over 65%.
It's close to 70%.
Yes. Now, if it's your own property, then you don't pay no tax. As long as you live there for 1 year, you're not paying any taxes. As long as you live there. But if it's your investment property, then the government wants a big chunk of it. Yes.
So again, if it's your first property, then you don't pay any tax on it.
No. If you live there for 1 year, then you don't pay any tax.
There's no capital gain.
There's no capital gain. Whether you make $1 million or 500,000, all your money is yours.
And that is a lot of, I think there is a lot of misconception about the capital gain tax. So like Fred said, if it is your primary property, it is your, like you're not paying capital gain. But if you have
So like
several-
I like you to start it from the scratch. So someone got a property, their first home, which we call first home buyers. Right? Now tell me the situation, how it goes.
Now, if it's your own property, you live there as long as you live there 1 year. After 1 year is solid, you make, let's say, 500,000. All the money is your own money. There is no tax on that.
Okay.
Now,
Not even 1%.
not even 1%, not even $1.
Okay.
Now, if you buy a property that you live, but you also buy another property for investment, and you sell that one, then you pay tax on that. I believe it's over 65% now.
Wow.
Yes. I think the reason the government came up with this idea is to eliminate some of the investors because there was too many homes owned by one person. So now the government wants to take chunk
So
of it.
they
and,
don't want
discourage them.
these people to sell the properties.
They want
Because if someone is holding a property, now they will not sell it. Because they know that on selling the property, they're going to give 70% of their gains to the government. So they'll hold the property and they'll put it on rent, keep earning.
I think this it's also to discourage a lot of home flippers.
yes.
Okay.
That was also the, I would say, the basic reasoning behind this law, because a lot of people were buying a property, flipping it on a very short duration of time, increasing the prices, which was in general like increasing the price of real estate as a whole. I think this law was created primarily to discourage people like that.
And also, I think my suggestion, I always suggest people, if they have two properties, before they sell it, they have to talk to their accountant to get them advice what exactly they should do, which house they should sell, when they should sell, and how much the taxes will be.
Yeah.
So an accountant will probably help them and guide them to the right way to when to sell it or if they should sell it or no.
A newcomer to Canada, let's say someone is there for 2 to 3 years already in Canada, working in a good job, not best one, but something like $50,000 to $80,000 they're working. Still not six figures, but just started off in their career, and you are putting them in a situation where they have a debt of $1 million, whereas in Asian countries, their ancestors have told them debt is bad.
That is bad. Yes.
We all have been told in our countries that don't take debt. Debt is bad.
Because I think that's how how we're grown up in those countries. Because in those countries, if I remember, there is no debt. There's not too much of credit and
Yeah.
all. So there's not much of credit. Whoever has the money,
You
they'll
basically-
buy the house. If they don't,
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's a cash home.
Yeah.
So,
If you have that much amount, you buy the house.
yes,
If you don't, you don't.
exactly.
Yeah.
If you
You
don't,
don't, you
then you
don't.
just rent.
Yeah.
But so that's the good part about Canada and these country here on the West End. In the West is there's possibility, gives everybody opportunity to borrow the money and buy a home.
Now it
And
started
have
in India
equity.
and other countries
Again,
as
but,
well.
but
much.
that is the Canadian dream, right? Every
Yeah.
country has a dream. The Canadian dream is to own a house.
Own a house, yes. So that's why banks, they give you money.
Yeah.
Of course, they make them money, they'll get interest. And at the end of the day, you keep the house, they take their money, and you own a property. So,
Of course. See, there are multiple viewpoint of looking at the same thing, right? One person might think that I am going under debt and in terms of getting this property. Another person might think that the bank is facilitating me.
yes.
Bank is helping me so that I get my own place. So it's a different viewpoint. And in our upbringing, I know that we have been told that debt is not good. A lot of us didn't even have a credit card
Yes.
course.
since
Yeah.
like up till we were working, right?
Yeah.
But look at it at a different perspective. Bank is facilitating you. The mortgage company is giving you money so that you can realize your dream. You can have a home.
Yes, and most of the time, the government is insuring the bank. So let's say if you buy a property and you pay a deposit of less than 20%, there's an insurance that the government buy insurance. You pay for it, but they insure you towards the bank. So that's why the bank will give you the money. So in a way, it's the bank is backing you up.
Yeah.
I mean, the government is backing you up. Sorry, and they get you the loan, and 10 years, 20 years from now, then still have paid most of the house, and then if you sell it, then you have a big equity in your home,
Yeah.
and then you can go probably buy something smaller in cash. Then you don't have no mortgage, no debt.
That's again a very
Yeah.
interesting viewpoint. So each situation can be viewed in different ways.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
But keep in mind, this country is I think, the foundation of this country. Everybody is with debt, with mortgage. So that's how people are used to it.
starting again, I'll come to same topic. Starting from scratch, then being a broker, owning your own firm, joining Remax with franchising it, literally going from scratch to there. How does it feel?
It's always good, excited, and always look for future. Look for.
How was the journey?
It was not easy, as I said. It was
like what? Basically asking, what will your suggestion be for someone who is starting off?
I think if you don't start something, you don't know if you succeed. So you have to, if you have some ideas, if you have something in mind, if you want to do something, you have to make the effort to do it. Because let's say if you don't do it, you don't know if you would succeed or no. But if you do it, at least you tried it. You will succeed. Yes, you may fall, you may come a little bit discouraged by other people, but again, if you stand, if you be confident, if you have a commitment that you're going to do it, you will succeed. And I think if you don't start, you cannot succeed. So you have to, whatever dream you have, try to start it.
They say you cannot learn swimming by looking at the pool.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You need to jump in
You
the
have
pool
you
to
have
learn
to
swimming.
Jump in the
Yeah.
pool. Yes.
True.
It has been a lovely conversation. It was quite amazing. knowing the point of view, clearing a lot of doubts which I personally had about investments, and of course the viewers had. Uh, Going to the end of the podcast, I'd like both of you to give uh, one suggestion to the viewers who are viewing, be it in the real estate field, be it in life. What will your suggestion be?
My personal suggestion in terms of real estate agents, first of all, I think they need to focus. If they think they're not succeeding, if they think they're not successful, they have to change something. Either their office or their work hours or their the style they work or the way they do their own advertising. They need to change something, and they have to start with something smaller. Like let's say, for example, if you want to put an advertising, you can't put a big billboard if nobody know you. So if you want to spend money, in advertising, you got to do it properly in a small pocket of an area, town, or whichever area you're looking for, whether it's a condo or it's a freeholds. Pick a small area and focus on that area and spend your time on that. Your make it your farming area, and you will succeed.
I think for me, if I were to give, like, wrap it up and advise the viewer, not just in real estate but in general, life in Canada and career in Canada, I would say, believe in yourself and keep moving. Keep trying. You'll fail, as Fred said. You might fail, you might fall, but you have to get up and start walking again. So believe in yourself and keep moving.
It was lovely having you, Sandy and Fred, on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting us.
It's
Our
an
pleasure,
it
for
was an
sure.
honor to have you here.
Thank you for sure.
Thank you for coming to the Mug Talks and having such a fruitful conversation with me.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
As I mentioned earlier, we had always heard about you, about your show, and it's amazing to be here today for sure.
Thank you very much.
And I want to pass my respect to all your viewers, and this is the best.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.